United States Army and thank him for his service to our country.
Hi everyone, my name is Addison Boyd from Miss Collier's first grade class, and this is my grandpa Jim. He's in the Air Force.
Hello, our names are Cole and from Mrs. Hughes and Wilson class. We would like to introduce our father, Bill HAR-BER of the United States Marine, and thank him for his service to our country.
Hello, my name is Connor Hare from Miss Menzel's fifth grade class. I would like to introduce my grandfather, Tom Hare, a veteran of the United States Army, and thank him for his service.
Hello, my name is Raquel from Mrs. Scott's fourth grade class. I would like to introduce my grandpa, David Harrison, a veteran of the United States Army, and thank him for his service to our country.
Hello, my name is Ethan Kathleen from Miss Thompson's second grade class. I would like to introduce my father, Surgeon Charles Henry, a veteran of the United States Army National Guard, and thank him for his service to our country.
Hi, my name is Reagan Bell from Miss Casimir's fifth grade class, and I would like to introduce my grandpa, a veteran of the United States Army, and thank him for his service to our country.
Hello, my name is Lucy Thompson from Mrs. Treasure's kindergarten class, and I would like to introduce Mr. Doug Miller, a veteran of the United States Navy, and thank him for his service to our country. Hi, my name is Sophia Casper. This is my dad, Henry. And I would like to thank you for his service. Hello, my name is Sally Tisher from Miss Haney's kindergarten class. And I would like to introduce my papa, Marshall Shrike, my niece, Hill Shrike. And we would like to thank them for serving our country, the United States Air Force. Hello, my name is Emma Braden Skiles from Mrs. Scott and Payne's class from fourth grade. I would like to introduce my dad, Sergeant Chris Skiles, a veteran of the United States Army, and thank him for his service to our country. for his service to our country.
Hello, my name is Annabeth Jones from Ms. Casper's 5th grade class. I would like to introduce my dad, Captain Stephen Jones, and my papa, Specialty 4th class, veterans of the United States Army, and thank them for their service to our country.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Wood, and this is my office in 3rd grade class. I would like to introduce my sister and brother-in-law, Felicia and Cody, a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, and thank them for their service to our country.
Hello, my name is Liam Moten from Miss Halsey's 3rd grade class. I would like to introduce my dad, Tommy, who is a veteran of the United States Navy, and thank him for service to our country.
Our names are Lily and Hattie Ray Bishop from Mrs. Hughes and Mrs. Hubb's 5th and 3rd grade class. We would like to introduce our dad, David Bishop, a captain, a veteran of the United States Army, and we thank him for his service.
Hello, my name is Katie from Miss Hughes' 5th grade class. I would like to introduce my grandpa, Dennis, a veteran of the United States Navy, and thank him for his service to our country.
Hello, my name is Levi Newman from Mrs. Collier's 1st grade class. I would like to introduce my granduncle, First Lieutenant Jim Shaddocks, a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, and thank him for his service to our country.
Hello, my name is McKenna Evans from Mrs. Farnopoulos' 3rd grade class. I would like to introduce my father, the United States Navy, and we thank him for his service to our country.
I would like to introduce Mrs. Stacy Schleichman, a J.B. Hunt Elementary 2nd grade teacher we are so proud of, who has served in the United States Air Force. She will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise and remain standing for our pledge. Would you please join me?
United States of America.
following multimedia presentations.
This Veterans Day, J.B. Hunt Elementary faculty and staff are thankful for their family members who have served our country. You are our heroes. I would like to thank my father, Specialist 4th Class Terry Sullivan, and my husband, Captain Stephen Jones, veterans of the U.S. Army, for serving and dedicating their lives to keep our family safe and our country free. Ms. Jones, music teacher. I would like to thank my father, Jack Bridges, for his service to our country. He served in the Army during the Korean conflict from 1950 to 1953. Ms. Schleisman, 2nd grade. I would like to thank my uncle, Jeff Hayes, for protecting our country as an Air Force B-52G Defense Aerial Gunner. He served in the U.S. Air Force from 1982 to 1992 and fought in Operation Desert Storm. Ms. Athey, Assistant Principal. I would like to thank my grandfather, Sergeant Jesse Boots Weiss, U.S. Army, and my husband, Officer Juan Victoria, U.S. Naval Corpsman, for serving our country during war times in order to protect our civil liberties. I love you. Miss Victoria, speech teacher. I would like to thank my father-in-law, Collins Pawpaw, for serving our country in the Navy during the Vietnam War. We are thankful for his service and bravery to protect our country. Ms. Henson, 1st grade. I would like to thank my grandfather, Harold Proctor, who served in the U.S. Navy during World War I, and my father, Ted Proctor, who served in the U.S. Marine Corps during World War II, for their bravery, loyalty, and service. Ms. Proctor. I would like to thank my son, Staff Sergeant Craig Huddleston, U.S. Air Force, for serving our country. We are so proud of you and grateful for your dedication to the United States of America. I love you. Nurse Tina. I would like to thank my husband, Specialist Jacob Hope, U.S. Army, who deployed to Africa, and my grandfather, First Sergeant Clyde Gibson, who served in the U.S. Army during World War II, the Korean War, and Vietnam, for their service and bravery. Mrs. Hope, 3rd grade. I would like to thank my daddy, Joseph Lahib, U.S. Navy, for his service during the Vietnam War. He was stationed on the USS Enterprise. I would also like to remember my granddaddy, F.W. Belize, U.S. Navy, for serving our country and helping to keep our country free. Ms. Kane, 4th and 5th grade. I would like to thank my daddy, Larry Rogers, who served in the U.S. Air Force Security Service, USAFSS, during the Vietnam War. He was a 29251 Morse intercept operator stationed in Misawa, Japan from 1964 through 1966, and Da Nang, Vietnam, 1966 through 1967. I am so proud of him for serving our country and dedicating part of his life to keep our country free. Mrs. Parrish, Computer Lab. I would like to thank my grandfathers, William Melton Staggs and Walter Ralph Sharp, U.S. Army, for serving in World War II and keeping our country safe. Miss Cheshire, Kindergarten. I would also like to thank my father, Staff Sergeant Marshall Sharp, U.S. Air Force, my mother, Carol Sharp, Senior Airman, U.S. Air Force, and my brother, E5 Sergeant Brandon Sharp, U.S. Army, for serving our great country. I am so proud of you, and I love you. Miss Cheshire, Kindergarten. I would like to thank my husband, Henry Casimir, for his service to our country. He was deployed to Afghanistan from 2004 to 2005 for Operation Enduring Freedom. We appreciate his sacrifice so much. Mrs. Casimir, 5th grade. I would like to honor my husband, Larry Stewart, an E3 in the U.S. Army who served in Vietnam, and my son, Ricky Stewart, an E8 in the U.S. Army who served in Iraq. Thank you for your service to our country. I am so proud of my family. Mrs. Stewart, Kindergarten. I would like to thank my father-in-law, Phil Thompson, who served in the United States Army for 30 years, from 1984 to 2014. He retired as a Chief Warrant Officer 5. He was a UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter pilot and an instructor pilot. He served in peacekeeping missions along the North Korean border, the Balkans, and served in the war in Iraq. Thank you for your service and sacrifice for our country. We are proud to call you Grandpa. Mrs. Thompson, 2nd grade. I would like to thank my father, Gary Seymour, an 85, who served in the United States Navy.
From 1959 to 1962, among other places, he was stationed in Bermuda and Antarctica and served as a weatherman. Miss Emerson, counselor. I would like to thank my friend, Sergeant Stephen Triggs, U.S. Air Force, for his 23 years of service. I also want to thank my daughter's boyfriend specialist, A.J. Boyer, U.S. Army, who is currently serving in Kuwait. Thank you for protecting this great country for the present and future generations. Miss Hughes, 5th grade. I would like to remember my father-in-law, Sergeant Hank Gregory, U.S. Army, who served with the 4th Infantry Division in Vietnam. I would also like to thank my husband, Corporal Eric Gregory, U.S. Marine Corps, who served from 1992 to 1996 with the military police. I am so proud of them and I love them both dearly. Miss Gregory, 4th grade. I would like to thank my grandpa, Walter Ernest Johnson, for serving and protecting our country. He served in the U.S. Navy from 1944 to 1946. He was stationed in the Philippines building roads and airstrips. He was on the USS Alabama. Miss Scott, 4th grade. I would like to thank my daddy, my hero, Chief Warrant Officer 3, Jay Skelton, who served IFOR in Bosnia in 1996 and KFOR in Kosovo in 2000. Thank you for your 34 years of service to our country. We are very proud of you. Miss Wordeman, 4th grade.
I would like to thank my granddad, Specialist 2, Charles Harlan Ski Skelton, who served in the U.S. Army. I would also like to thank my big brother, Sergeant Joshua Skelton, who served OIF 3, Operation Iraqi Freedom, from 2004 to 2005. Thank you both for your years of service for our country. Miss Worthman, 4th grade. I would like to thank my dad, Billy Sewell, the hardest working man I know, for his service in the Air Force. He was stationed in Homestead, Florida, and served October 1977 to 1981. I would also like to thank my big brother, Craig Thrasher. He served in the Navy from 1997 to 2006. He was stationed on the USS Hewitt and the USS Antietam. I would like to remember both my papa, James Sewell, who served in the Air Force from 1956 through 1960, and my father-in-law, Mike Holsey, who was stationed out of Jacksonville, Florida Naval Base from 1979 to 1984. Miss Holsey, 3rd grade. Thank you, veterans, from all of us at J.B. Hunt Elementary.
Three teens were arrested today for defacing the Kensington Park War Memorial overnight. The destruction included painted messages against the military and the war in the Middle East. The three teens were picked up as early morning hours after evidence was left at the scene.
Grandpa, something wrong?
Some people sure have short memories, and those who are too young to know need to be taught. Come on, I want to show you guys something.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a day which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
At dawn on the morning of the 6th of June, 1944, 225 Rangers jumped off the British landing craft and ran to the bottom of these cliffs. 225 came here. After 2 days of fighting, only 90 could still bear arms. These are the boys of Springdale. These are the men who took the cliffs. These are the champions who helped free a continent. These are the heroes who helped end a war. You are men who in your, quote, lives fought for life and left the vivid air signed with your honor.
In the name of God and country, I learned to defy gravity.
To honor my family,
I lived in the belly of a beast.
I fixed the hearts of iron monsters.
I became a army lion for dignity,
For honor,
for righteousness' sake.
for God and country,
I fought for you.
I fought for you.
For you. I fought for you.
I fought for you. I fought for you.
I fought for you.
For you.
For you.
For you.
For you. I fought for you.
I fought for you.
I fought for you, and I do it again.
pay tribute to each branch of the United States military. Veterans and honored guests, if you have given your service to our country and are able, please rise when the anthem from your branch plays.
It is my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Michelle Dozier, Principal of Hunt Elementary.
Students, faculty, and esteemed guests, words do not often do justice in conveying feelings of humility, honor, and patriotism, or pride, these that flow in our hearts and minds on a day like this. Few opportunities allow us to demonstrate together as a school, as a community, as a state, and a nation the thankfulness we have for each of you. With the utmost respect, I am reminded of the words delivered by President Ronald Reagan in Arlington, Virginia, November 11, 1988. Those who live today remember those who do not. Those who know freedom remember today those who gave up life for freedom. In our memories, in our hearts, we hold them close to us still. We could not forget them, even if they were not our own. We could not forget them. For all time, they are what we can only aspire to be, giving, unselfish, and the epitome of human love. We know that those who could had last thoughts of us and of their love for us. As they thought of us, so too we think of them now with love, with devotion, and with faith. Veterans, thank you today for your love, devotion, and the gift of freedom. We continue to enjoy with friends and family. You truly are a hero in this place. Thank you so much.
There is a place where chimes of freedom ring, and hope
In conclusion to today's program, please rise and join us in a final recognition of the veterans who are here with us today. Together, we honor you.